So why would we need a teaching and civics class on visitor from outer space? Now we are going to go somewhere with this, you all. We really are. So happy New Year. If you made it through last year, so now we are in a new year. Are y'all hearing me all right? This is, wow, this is really weird. Look at this. Let me flip it. Materials needed. Your visitor from outer space. Visitor from outer space chart. Your visitor from outer space signs. Then you rate the lesson and stuff. Teaching and civics. Visitor from outer space. K through 6, 6 through 9, 9 through 12. Happy New Year if you're all just tuning in. You made it. Good morning, you all. I'm sitting down there. I thought, you know what? I've already went to the YouTube studio, and there were a few comments that were held for review for no reason whatsoever. But they brought the traffic to the channel down into the 300s since my last night's video. That's why I've got to come on here and keep doing videos, you all. If I do not come on here and pop out the videos, the traffic will be severely slowed, and it's meant to discourage me too. Well, I've got news. I've got a mission. And it doesn't matter how low they drop the traffic. I've got to get the news out regardless. Something is going on, and it does have to do with, it affects us, not just on a micro, but on a macro level. They're trying to suppress the information that I'm putting out. They are. And it's not going to stop me. I'm not going to stop until it's my time. Okay. You can bring the traffic to this channel down to a screeching halt if you want, but I promise you, I will not give up until it's my time, until I'm forced. After I've done everything beyond my control, you all, I'm not going to stop, no matter how much they try to discourage me. And I just pray you all keep praying for me that I have the strength to continue throughout this year, to get out whatever I'm supposed to get out. Just pray for strength, because it's like I'm going against the grain. This grain feels like a washboard. It really does. But we're going to read this. You know what I first started looking at? Let me tell you what I first started looking at. What on earth is under my laptop? I first started looking at, you remember that video where they had this supposed congressman who said classified, flesh eating, classified, underground birthing centers, classified. We will now vote on the bill, classified. Okay, that's that. Okay. But then somehow I ended up over here. So we're going to look at this. We are. Good morning. Happy New Year, everyone. If you just tuning in, Happy New Year. So teaching and civics. A visitor from, I'm going to turn this up, the brightness. Okay. Students were asked to evaluate and rank the rights protected by the Bill of Rights. This right here thing. Right here. I found it in the, about UFOs too. I think I saw something like this about the UFOs too. In a hypothetical invasion by a visitor from outer space, students complete the ranking individually, and then they work in small groups to come to a consensus. Students apply prior knowledge about the meaning and importance of the rights and are inspired to learn more about these rights. Lessons can be used as an introductory or a review category. If you're just tuning in, yes, this is a teaching and civics class on a visitor from outer space. And I didn't know something like that would, it's from K through 6, 6 through 9, 9 through 12 is what it is. This is serious, you all. The objectives, students will deepen the understanding of the meaning of the Bill of Rights. Students will explore the importance of the Bill of Rights in their personal lives. That's right. And students will practice advocacy, discussion, and consensus building skills. Grade levels, they got grades 5 through 12. Let's see. Grades 5 through 12, one whole entire class period. Organize the students into groups of 4 or 5. Have them read the opening paragraphs of the student handout and briefly review with the students each listed right and explain those that are unfamiliar. Check for understanding. Understand the Bill of Rights that protects from violations by government organizations and people acting on the government's behalf. And then they'll have private actors like companies, parents, individuals not regulated by the Bill of Rights, but might be regulated by other laws. Working individually, ask the students to rank the rights. So they will be asked to compare their rankings and have a discussion about which rights and select 5 rights that they want to keep and remind them that they have limited time. And if they fail to choose, the visitor from outer space will choose for them if they fail to choose the 5 rights that they want to keep. The visitor from outer space. Why would they even use that as, a reason? Why would they even do that, you all? So then they ask them what are going to be the consequences for keeping or losing the particular rights and compare the decision makings. And if it's acceptable, they can make a good argument. And they have to reflect on what it means today. Ask them how would they feel about aliens limiting that rights. Point out how colonists felt just before a Revolutionary War when Great Britain tried to control them after years of non-interference. Discuss with the students when it is important to fight for your rights. Be sure they consider both the potential costs and benefits. A visiting lawyer can contribute to the lesson. The lawyer can whatever. So this is like Foundation of Chicago, right to keep and bear arms, right to protection from cruel and unusual punishment, right to freedom of press, right to jury and trial, right to peacefully assemble, protect from self-incrimination. These were 5. Okay, the lawyer could also, express his or her choice of 5 rights. The lawyer can also do whatever. So these were, I guess, the rights they chose: the right to bear arms, the right to protection from cruel and unusual punishment. They become confused over this right. It's important to link it to due process, that you must be accused, that the accused must be proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in criminal trial. Freedom of press, the right to free speech, right to a jury. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is visitors from outer space. I don't know if we can see what their materials might be, if there is any. No, I don't see it. I don't see no. Look, it's inappropriate for listed grade levels. Civics education from outer space. From outer space, you all. Now I'm going to read this one. Okay, we remember the one video. It showed that congressman reading a Bill of Rights. Let me just open this up. Not the Bill of Rights. A proposed bill about the aliens. Remember this one right here? And they said it was the Onion making a hypothetical thing just to play with people. 18 classified reasons you should watch this video. See, they said this is all fake and stuff, but it was part of the Homeland Security Act, is what they said it was. Look, the videos on my channel that are not fake, and ask yourself who controls what you see. This may be, look, they say this may be a hoax. You see that? Why did this thing, this may be a hoax, but compare hits to other videos on my channel that are not fake and ask yourself, who controls what you see? Ask yourself, who controls what you see? 18 classified reasons. So This is what it was. So this is what was written. If you don't want to click into the video, they say, let me read it to you all. This was the thing, and they said, oh, it's all fake. It's just to make people laugh. So this supposed Representative John Holler introduces a bill. Congress will now vote for approval of H.R. 8791, the Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill. The said bill requests emergency response funding up to and including, let's read it. This section is classified, and dollars to prepare for a national level terrorist attack and or attacks from classified. Funding for the first responder personnel and vehicles should be doubled if said attack leads to more than 80% of the national population being affected by classified. The funding shall convene in conjunction with the first attack on classified or the first large-scale outbreak of classified, depending upon which comes first. This is from that video, and when I first saw it, I said, that sounds really wild because it talked about aliens. Let's read the rest of it, you all. And it said it's satire. It's not true, they say. Civilian and military units shall be trained in containment and combat of classified, including irradiated classified, irradiated exposed to radiation, with possibility of classified airborne, classified flesh-eating, classified, and or all of the above in such event as classified, spewing classified, escape or release or otherwise become uncontrollable. I'm reading something. I'm reading the transcript that came from this satire video. They said it's not true. They say it's all fake. It was a proposed bill, and this guy is supposed to be standing up there, and the people behind him, and they're talking in the podiums behind them and stuff like that. So I'm reading this right here if you're just tuning in. The Air Force units may also be directed to combat said classified due to their enormous size and otherworldly strengths. Should event occur in urban areas, long pause, that's classified, far surpassing our darkest nightmares. Should casualties exceed classified, body disposal actions shall be halted and associated resources shall be reallocated through classified, underground classified protected birthing centers. New Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved by classified. Having now reviewed the bill, I ask you to please cast your vote. So this is where the Bill of Rights, new Bill of Rights. They said that this video was a fake. This video right here, they said it was a complete fake. But in this video, you all, this is the transcript. They're giving this thing, and they're talking about due to their enormous size and otherworldly strengths, classified, far surpassing your darkest nightmares, and reallocated through underground protected birthing centers. A new Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved by classified. So why? Is that was released back in 2007, I think, that video right there. And then we have this teaching and civics class, Visitor from Outer Space. Students are asked to evaluate and rank rights protected by the Bill of Rights in a hypothetical invasion by a visitor from outer space. A hypothetical by a visitor from outer space. Evaluate and rank your Bill of Rights. And this is right to, look at this, you all. How would you feel? How would you feel about aliens limiting your rights? Point out how colonists felt before the Revolutionary War and Great Britain tried to control them after years of non-interference. No, 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 no. Are not, let me ask you this. I've seen so many comments on here about people saying that the aliens up there, the galactics and all these will not, they have had a thing of non-interference. We will not interfere with human life on Earth. We will not interfere. Why did this civics class specifically put that in there in quotations? Ask yourself, why did they put that? Years of non-interference. Discuss what is important to fight for your rights. Be sure you consider both the potential costs. Would the aliens, okay, let's look at this, you all. Ask about the consequences of losing your rights. This is applicable if they can make a good argument. During the discussion, you can ask the students to reflect on what each right means. Ask if your new rulers, oh my gosh, you all, your new rulers would have the same interpretation. For example, would the aliens understand the right to privacy in the same way that we do, you all? You ask yourself that. Ask yourself, why would there even be a thing right there? Why would it talk about the Bill of Rights? And you've got this video they said was all fake, totally fake. And then new Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved because of the units may be directed to combat due to their enormous size and otherworldly strengths should an event occur far surpassing our darkest nightmares. Should the casualties exceed and body disposal actions be halted, and resources shall be reallocated through underground protected birthing centers, a new Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved by. They want a new Bill of Rights according to this fake video right here, fake satire video, new Bill of Rights, because of this otherworldly thing due to their enormous size and otherworldly strengths, far surpassing our darkest nightmares. And they'll go to underground protected birthing centers, a new Bill of Rights. And the visitor from outer space, if you're just tuning in, teaching civics, visitor from outer space, hypothetical invasion by a visitor from outer space. Students complete the ranking individually of their Bill of Rights. Look, protected by the Bill of Rights. And discuss the importance to fight for them. The student says if you were only allowed to have it. So they, yeah, you are, this is wild. Would the aliens understand the right to privacy in the same way that we do, you all? This is about the aliens. They asked that how would they feel about the aliens limiting their rights? Point out how the colonists felt when the Revolutionary War with Great Britain tried to control them after years of non-interference. This is specifically talking about an alien invasion. That's exactly what it's talking about. And the aliens taking over. That's what it is. The aliens limiting your rights. Would they understand your right to privacy in the same way that you do? What did it say? Your new ruler? They said they were your new ruler. Because if you failed to choose, the visitor from outer space will choose for you. Will choose for you. I'm thinking, did they have to choose it on an individual basis, you all? If you're just tuning in, this is really important starting this new year off, is what we're talking. This is a massive discussion. It is. The aliens. Yeah. Grades 5 through 12. Minnesota Civic Education. It's Minnesota Project Citizen. That's what it is. Project Citizen. Minnesota. So that's where this is at in Minnesota law and civics, you all. 1980. Mount Hermes were aliens. Yeah. So where did it say your new rulers? Look, they organized the students into 4 and 5 groups. They had to understand the Bill of Rights protects them for violations from governments, organizations, private actors, companies, parents, and individuals not regulated by the Bill of Rights. So you can have people who are not regulated from the Bill of Rights, like companies, parents, and individuals, that might be regulated by other laws. You have limited time, and if you fail to choose, the visitor from outer space will choose for you. It is impossible and not necessary for everyone to agree. Let's see. During the aliens, okay, the small groups, they might not have, they voted. Why 2 groups have voted to keep the right to bear arms and 3 give it up. Ask the students why, you all. So we got to fight for your rights because of the years of non-interference. You got this alien doing that. Yeah, it's like kind of wild, but this is really interesting. I think this is really kind of true, even though they say that it's not true. And what did we see about these right here, you all? Protected birthing centers. So I don't understand that, you all. So when that's talking about that, when they say resources shall be allocated through blank underground protected birthing centers. Who's got the protected birthing centers in this, you all? Is it the aliens or is it something else? Protected birthing centers. Are they birthing new life or is it birthing center? Birthing, we're going to go somewhere. We're not going to go on here too long. I'm going to try to this year. I'm going to try to keep birthing centers growing babies. There's a video that's been all over the place and I've seen it. I'm not going to share it on my channel. I'm not. Growing babies future. I don't know the name of it. I don't know. I have no idea. But you know what I'm talking about. That video that was out showed babies in a container or something like that. Yeah. Look at this. The experience of at a birthing center in CBI. Growing babies right there. Growing babies, BIOPOC. They grow your babies right there. So that's all I want to say about that. But you all, we got a civics class on the visitor from outer space, and you're told to talk about your Bill of Rights. If a hypothetical invasion from a visitor from outer space occurred, you have to rank your Bill of Rights. How you going to rank them? And if you cannot choose them, the alien will choose for you. If you fail to choose, the visitor from outer space will choose for you. The aliens would the aliens understand the right to privacy the same way that you do? Okay, because they will be your new rulers. The Revolutionary in Great Britain tried to control them after years of non-interference. How would you feel about the aliens limiting your rights? You need to know when to fight. And this bill originated in Minnesota this bill. This thing is teaching civics in Arizona, Minnesota is where it came from. And then this classified video right here, they said it was all satire, it was fake. And you see the person of this channel, they may be a hoax, but compare the hits to other ones and ask yourself what you see. And then this is the transcript of that. Air Force units may be directed to, due to their enormous size and other worldly strengths, should event occur in urban areas, Jesus, that's classified, far surpassing your darkest nightmare. Should the casualties exceed, body disposal actions shall be halted and associated resources shall be allocated underground birthing centers. New Bill of Rights. New Bill of Rights there, right there. The visitor from outer space. You'll have to, protected by the Bill of Rights, a hypothetical invasion. Evaluate and rank it. If you fail to do that, the visitor from outer space will choose for you, is what they will do. So, yeah, it's kind of wild. It is, and I don't think it's too hypothetical at all. So I'm going to try to keep it under 30 minutes, you all. Gina Honey's going to try to do better this year. I am at the new start of this year, but something's going on. It really is. Yeah, this is great. We don't have a moderator in here, so I hope you're all doing well. Are you all doing well in here? What? Something, Johanna? You talking about something underground, protected underground? Are the aliens in the underground birthing? My nose wants to itch. Aliens, underground birthing centers. Look, look. It looks like results below are changing quickly. Look, aliens in underground birthing centers. It looks like the results below are changing very quickly. Ancient aliens, classified, in search of aliens, ancient astronaut theory, global trends, National Intelligent Council series, alternative worlds. What? What? Alternative worlds? That looks like a parallel world. Does that not look like a symbol for a parallel world, you all? The National Intelligence Council, December of 2012. Variables, trajectories. We're at a critical juncture in human history, which could quickly lead to widely contrasting futures. It's our contention that the future is not set in stone, but it is malleable, the result of an interplay among megatrends, game changers, above all, human agency, encourage decision makers. So, global trends. Chapter, potential trajectories in the international system. So you all can look that out. I'm not going to do it. Track records, global trends, crisis discontinuancies. I'd like to see a executive summary, you all, so you can look at it. Next 15 to 20 years. Predict the future, which would be an impossible feat, but instead provide a framework for possible implications, futures and their implications. John Maynard Keynes, who was, look at this, you all. The idea of a future being different from the present is so repugnant to our conventional modes of thought and behavior that most of us, offer a great resistance to acting on it in practice. John Maynard Keynes. So you all, this is Alternative Worlds is what it is. So you can read that. They got black swans also. They talk about potential black swans, large-scale disruptions. 2030 will be radically, the world of 2030 will be radically transformed by our world today. Whether the U.S., China, or any other large company will be a hegemonic power, the empowerment of individuals and diffusion of power among the states and from states to informal networks will have a dramatic impact, largely reversing the historic rise of the West since 1750. Mega trends, shifts, game changers regarding the global economy, governance, conflict, what kind of transformed world we will inhabit in 2030. Potential black swans. Discrete events would cause a large-scale disruption. Page XI. Two of these, the possibility of a democratic China or a reformed Iran would have negative based on whatever megatrends. None of these alternative worlds is inevitable. We will consist of elements from all scenarios. So yeah. So I'm not going to read into that. You can read into that yourself. You can look at this right here. Do your search. Don't say, Gina, honey, can you please put the link of the site you were visiting? No, you can type it in. Type this in if you want to read this Alternative Worlds. You can type that in. You can type in this HR. You can type this in. You can watch the video right here. I'm not going to put the links. And you can type this in, visitors from outer space. You can do it. Because the new rulers, there's obviously, this came from Minnesota. They want the students to evaluate their Bill of Rights, because if they don't, the aliens will fight for you, is what will happen. They will decide for you, is what they would do. Look at this. So this is the source. Adapted from Responsibilities and Rights in Schools, 1978. Ronald P. Vetter and Linda Ford of the Carroll County Public School System, Westminster, Maryland, 21157. This is where it came from, the source in Maryland, you all. So they asked just students, you all, how would you feel about aliens limiting your rights, and point out how the colonists felt before the Revolutionary War when Great Britain tried to control them after years of non-interference. Okay, because if you don't, the aliens they'll choose for you. I'm going to go. I'm done talking. It's 33 minutes and 24 seconds, so I'm going to go. And thank you all for tuning in. Happy New Year if you're just tuning in. And I hope this year is better than last year. But if it's not, I hope we have the strength to stand and face everything that comes our way. And we won't falter. And if we fall, we'll pick ourselves back up and we will keep going, you all. We will. That's right. We will keep going. Greetings. Get a cup of love somewhat in time. Yes, that's right, you all. I'm going to go. So, yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day, you all. If you don't see me, I'm going to go back in the basement and check out that Jeep downstairs that I've been piddling on, working on, because I like auto mechanics, you all. I really do. And it's hard to pull myself away once I get started. I just love it. I chill like that. I do. I love a challenge like that. I do. I love it. And I guess I like a challenge of being shadow banned on the YouTube. I must love it because I'm so stubborn and bullheaded. I just keep going, even though I feel like I'm on a washboard now going against the grain. That's okay, you all. We can do it. We can talk about these visitors from outer space. We can. And they can ask the students to evaluate their rights that are protected by the real rights by a hypothetical invasion from a visitor from outer space. We can talk about that. We can talk about this video where they talk about this HR, whatever, Homeland Terrorism Preparedness Bill, about a flesh-eating thing. They eat your flesh. Large scale outbreak, depending on which comes first. Containment. Enormous size. Due to their enormous size and otherworldly strength, should an event occur in urban areas, far surpassing our darkest nightmares. Resources allocated to underground protected birthing centers, and we will need a new Bill of Rights shall be drafted and approved, because it sounds like, because it would be something like this visitor from outer space, because they wanted them to do that too. A hypothetical invasion by a visitor from outer space. And if you cannot choose your limited time, the visitor from outer space will choose for you. And you will only get 5 that you want to preserve. And the aliens may not understand your right to privacy in the same way that you do. So, yeah. And you will have an alien that promised non-interference. So, yeah, you guys, it's pretty wild. So I'm going to go. It's 36 minutes and 18 seconds. And with that being said, hello. Wherever you are in any part of the world, hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You all click that like button and subscribe. Check your subscription if you haven't subscribed. Yeah, is it hard for me to do this, to keep going when I know they want to shut me down? Yeah, yes, it's kind of hard, but I like to be stubborn and bullheaded. I do. Just continue to pray for me to have strength to keep going and share what I feel led within my spirit to share. Because when I share what I feel led, then I am guided to whatever it is, and I'll come on here and do a video. That's what I do. I just get guided, read something, and then just like that, I come immediately up here while it's fresh in my mind. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your New Year's day.